Well, happening right now, the man found guilty of involuntary manslaughter over a punch that ended up killing another man, now in court for sentencing. Prosecutors say Charles Teeple hit 66-year-old Bruce Hemley at a Wilmington Island bar on New Year's Eve of 2019. A judge decided that led to Hemley's death days later. Now, earlier today, Hemley's daughter took the stand to talk about her family's loss. Teeple also testifying, apologizing to his family and vowing to never touch alcohol again. The defense also wants to call former jurors to the stand today. Teeple's attorneys are arguing, though, they may have been influenced to make a rushed guilty verdict after hearing conversations involving a deputy. WSAV's Jillian Coles is in court right now. She's going to have more on today's hearing coming up later on in our newscasts. And we're following now a developing story out of South Carolina. That's where a high school student was shot and killed while waiting for a school bus. This happened in Gaffney, which is just east of Spartanburg. Authorities say 17-year-old Jomiltron Centel Fair Jr. was walking across the street from his home to the bus stop. That's when a man approached him. The two got into a fight. And during that struggle, Fair was shot and killed. Surveillance video from the school bus shows the shooter actually getting into a waiting vehicle, which then took off. More than a dozen students were on the bus. Thankfully, though, no one else was hurt. Authorities still working to find that shooter. At the same time, though, the school district now added extra security on campus. In Bryan County, you might remember there were claims that the old Caesarstone property was contaminated with hazardous materials. It's an allegation made by the CEO of a nickel refinery company, Westwind Elements, who wanted to buy that property. But as WSAV's Sarah Smith has learned, the county now reporting those claims are actually false.
Two different investigations, one performed by the Environmental Protection Division and another by an independent consulting agency, found that there are high levels of arsenic in one of the 4 wells on this property, but that report says it's likely natural. Both investigations debunked the claims made by Westwind Elements founder and CEO Kaylee Long. Earlier this year, she told a packed room full of Bryan County residents there were hazardous waste barrels dumped on this property. County Attorney Aaron Kapler visited the site. He says he and an EPD representative found plastic and metal drums that were sealed and properly stored. Still, Kapler says Caesarstone arranged for an environmental disposal company to remove the material off-site.
He ultimately said that this site is not going to be listed as a hazardous site in the EPD's records. The EPD did, however, find that Caesarstone violated 2 administrative violations. Administrative being like record keeping, not necessarily contaminations. And those were failure to make a hazardous waste determination and the failure to notify prior to closing. EPD then, of course, discussed it with Caesarstone and they closed those violations.
Kapler says Westwind was not cooperative during these investigations and they're no longer in negotiations with Caesarstone. Rather, he says another company is looking to buy this property. Stick with us as we learn what's next for this site. Reporting in Bryan County, I'm Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Sarah, thanks so much. WSAV, your local election headquarters, and the remaining Republican candidates for South Carolina's Senate seat are now back on the campaign trail. This comes after yesterday's special primary election. It was a crowded Republican field, 10 candidates in all competing. Darlene Graham finished first statewide with about 33% of the vote, while Ralph Norman came in second. And because no candidate actually reached the majority needed to win outright, Graham and Norman will now face each other in a runoff on August 25th. The winner will then face Democratic nominee Annie Andrews in November. In the Low Country, Graham had a particularly strong showing, winning Beaufort, Hampton, Colleton, and Jaspers County. But the second place finisher varied in this case. Mark Sanford second in both Beaufort and Colleton, Ralph Norman second in Hampton, Russell Fry second in Jasper.
I may not have been the first choice. I may not have been the second choice. I want to be the third and the fourth choice of everybody.
I have buried my precious brother. I have taken on the role of a United States Senator, and I have had this brutal campaign schedule, and I'm still standing.
Of course, you can stay up to date with the latest political happenings, both South Carolina and Georgia, anytime on our website. Just visit WSAV.com/electionHQ. And happening right now, the Salvation Army asking the Savannah Housing Authority for more time to move forward with its Center of Hope project. Now, you might remember how some said the property actually connected to the Weeping Time, which is an incident where more than 400 enslaved people were auctioned off at once. That was ultimately found out not to be the case, but the Salvation Army say the legal battle delayed the project by 3 to 4 years and led to unexpected costs. Now it's asking the Housing Authority for more time to move forward with the project. The Housing Authority expected to vote today. WSAV's Nikiah Harris is going to bring you the latest right after that meeting. As people get older, loved ones begin to worry about them, especially if they live alone. WSAV's Isley Herschel has more on a program that Effingham County taking part in, designed to keep older adults safe.
When older adults live separately from their loved ones, a lot can happen to put them in danger. The Effingham County Sheriff's Office is partnering with the Confirm OK program to help keep those adults safe. Confirm OK is a computer-generated phone call that makes virtual welfare checks on elderly individuals and those that are alone for long periods of time. The phone call walks the person through a quick task, like clicking specific numbers on the phone. If they don't answer and complete the task, deputies at the Effingham County Sheriff's Office get notified so they can alert the family and send someone for an in-person welfare check. Kathy Dillard with the Sheriff's Office feels Effingham County will benefit from this free service.
Unfortunately, it does happen a lot. My godson come home and found his father deceased. He's only 13 years old. You know, it's traumatic for anybody. And if we can prevent that, we're going to do what we can to prevent it.
If you're interested in signing up a family member for the Confirm OK program in Effingham County, we have information on how to do that on our website, WSAV.com. In Effingham County, Isley Herschel, WSAV News 3 on your side.